Alright, folks. Welcome. Episode number 23. String Ninjas podcast.
The Michael Jordan episode.
Is that his number, was it?
Well, it was 26, it was 45 at a time.
45. Brimful of Asher.
That was
I know
whenever-
nothing about basketball.
When he left and then came back, it became 45 for a bit, and then he went back to 23.
I've got a naked gun Leslie Nielsen approach to sports. Never bet on the white guy. That's literally all I know. Tex Colorado from Florida.
Even when it's fencing.
Even when it's fencing. You can just tell. You can just tell. But yeah, welcome. Anybody joining us on Spotify, we love you dearly. Anybody
No, we
getting
don't.
this early? Oh no, you can't say that. But anybody getting this early on Patreon, we love you more.
There you go.
You get the secret love, you get the good love.
Yeah.
So yeah, episode number 23. Kick off with a look at what we did today. The no beard filter that we had. So yeah, I had seen there's like one of those stupid fucking TikTok videos, even though I don't have TikTok, with the fucking with somebody like some woman was like, you know, showing it to her husband and his beard went away and he looked like an absolute gimp, and I was like, God, I wonder what it would look like, because I keep saying to Fernanda about like I shave my beard off and she's not happy, like
No.
she's like, nah, don't ever do it, you're dropped. So
You're dropped.
you're dropped.
Man, that's such a 90s phrase, isn't
You're
it?
dropped. Fuck's sake, I had to ask to see her as well. Would you see my mate?
Class.
So fucking got that and took that picture, and it's weird because it does look like somebody, you know, like somebody'd see on CCTV, me without the beard.
I wonder if that would be the same with my chest or something. Like, quite a
Just
hairy
wop,
chest.
just put it on, just a bald
Yeah.
chest. You need to draw two eyes on your nipples first,
Easy.
and then you just push them together.
Alright.
It creates its own like Quato from fucking
Yeah.
from Total Recall.
My-
Start the
yeah.
reactor.
No, my nipples are like the mask's eyes when he sees Cameron Diaz for the first time. You know, like go like that.
Is it cold in here?
Yeah,
What's it
very.
say? So if you want to see what we look like without beards, your one's fucking hilarious.
I got
It is-
so much shit about
it's
it. People
absolutely-
really went to town
It just
on me.
makes you look full derp. You've went full derp, like you never go full derp.
Get in that belly.
Yeah, I used to go over to our Facebook page, at String Ninjas, and our Instagram page, and check it out, see what we look like without our beards. It's
See
quite
if we
weird.
made that our grinder profile as opposed to what is our grinder profile. Do you think we'd get as much interest?
That's a social experiment. We should, we should definitely try.
I just don't want to download that bloody app again.
We should. I know. Imagine all the.
eyes.
Imagine, oh mate, imagine all the dick pics that we're
Things
missing
I've
out on.
seen.
I was gonna say, we
Things I've seen.
so for anybody that's wondering what the fuck we're talking about, so we thought it would be funny to try and set up dating apps under the String Ninjas names, and you know, like set up dates with people, but like invite them to our shows, and then like do it to like loads of people.
Yeah.
And get them to go to our shows.
Well,
But
they
it's
wouldn't know
re-
they're coming to our show. We just go, I'll meet you here.
Aye.
I'll meet you at the Empire on Friday night, 9 o'clock.
It's always free in. I'll put you on the guest list.
Yeah.
Aye, so I wonder, because we did did you do a shared profile picture of the two of us?
I did. I put, there was a really nice photo of us from a wedding that we did. And it's a really nice sort of lighting.
Mm.
And a cat, it's just nice, and like it emphasizes the beards, and that was when I was in training, so I had like a decent
Shoulders.
sort of- I had decent shoulders going on.
Cracking walnuts with those blades.
And there was so many like 5 minutes into the when I started the account, there was so many messages. And,
You're all sick, by the way.
yeah, fucking
You
terrible.
all just need to have a wank and go to sleep.
To be fair, they were mostly from Luke Izzard.
Our good friend Luke. He's a nice funny character. But so our 10-minute stint on Grindr was very fruitful.
I didn't think
Pardon the pun.
Tinder wouldn't have been a good idea.
No.
No, because we would have got called creeps. Let's
Well, they don't like. Well,
you know,
it's the truth, but we don't want people to know it.
I'm not a creep.
I'm a weirdo.
I'm too big and loud to be a creep.
You're not, you need to be subtle. You need to be stealthy
Yeah.
to be a creep. You know.
That's why my role in Warzone's always heavy artillery.
Just jumping off buildings,
Rambo.
Rambo.
That's what my loadout's called, Rambo.
Rambo. Rochambeau. Kick in the bollocks, that one.
Fucking souped up P90 with an LMG as backup. Just
Just go in there with the Bowie knife and a bandana.
I would.
That's what we basically be doing. I was looking at our fucking Facebook page, and I was like, we really need to put up some music somewhere at some stage along the lines because we haven't done in weeks.
Yeah, but
So
we
we-
haven't had a chance.
We need to get some shit recorded, like.
I haven't had a chance.
But I was thinking, like, what the fuck?
When your kids go back to school, we'll get shit done.
What are we gonna record? What? We're pretty.
What
we're
have
at
we
the
not?
end.
It's what we haven't done in that set list. If we just, what have we not done?
We've done. See, the thing is, we have done.
We've
ones,
done everything, just not
but
properly.
not properly. So, like, we need to do a bit of cream or something to get there. Fucking.
Oh, people love that bittersweet, don't they?
We've done that like 3 times.
I
Now.
know.
We need to learn something.
We should do zombie and just butcher it, and then nobody will ever ask us to play it again.
You just put on like a fucking with detune to like 4:30. You know,
Yeah.
hertz, and we'll just tune at that, and people will be like, they'll be fucking with their mind.
I found a delay actually. 'Cause remember you were saying to me about work finding coming at you with some delays.
Right.
Mate, I've found some mental ones, and there's one in particular that just takes your note and just goes and splits it up and just. And it's not the note you're playing. It's mental. It sounds
It's
like
one of
a
those-
theremin having a fucking epileptic fit.
It's one of those ones where you say, actually, it would be the theremin player having the epileptic fit.
It's he's actually fallen over and the theremin's gone up his arsehole. That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Fucking threw some disco lights behind him. He's having a party.
See, there you go, music podcast.
There you go.
Theremin in someone's intestines. Imagine that.
An intestinal track.
Hey, okay.
Terrible pun.
If anybody's wondering why we're talking so quietly for a change, because there's children sleeping upstairs. We don't know who owns them. There are children.
They're just here.
There are a couple of Anne Frank enthusiasts.
they're sleeping in the attic. There's cash in the attic. Cash me outside. We'll get I know that as well. We got this new interface, and it's got way more buttons than our last one. So we haven't had a proper test run to see what it's been like. So we've set it up to.
This may sound crap.
I know we get it, and it's just fucking ones and zeros people are listening to.
Just check, yeah.
Who's phoning you? Who's phoning you this
My
hour?
cousin's sending me inappropriate content, which is usually a picture of Arlene Foster.
All right, I was hoping I was hoping it would have been something like that rather than
No, it's basically the British Bulldog's body with Arlene Foster on it.
Lovely.
Yeah, nasty, mate. Aye, so anyway. Well, no, we're not talking about loyalism this week. We did it last week.
No.
I'm not talking about it. I'm done talking. That's
I don't
shit.
think there's much more to say, to be honest, because
I know.
it's gone mental. It is going mental. This is one of the reasons I'm happy just to live in West Belfast.
Yeah.
It's just because I'm tucked out of the way and nobody bothers
I
me.
did see a funny video though of that rider who put himself on fire,
Oh.
and then someone added the Benny Hill music. I was like,
Aye.
yep, that's quite appropriate.
It was so strange, like, because it was the petrol bomb came over his head, landed in front of him, and then he slipped in it,
Yeah.
and then like smashed his own petrol bomb that he had in his hand,
Not
and it was like, because
Well, they
it's
got
a
that mighty.
bittersweet.
No, I got that in my day.
Yeah, they know they knew how to throw a
Yeah.
petrol bomb. They knew the coordination was there.
Yeah.
Fucking here, but not the one thing that I've always wondered about how effective are petrol bombs, and I think after seeing that,
Well, that's why I never
Pretty
used Molotovs in Call of Duty,
no, because
because I know it.
it brings back too many fucking memories. You're sitting there in a daze.
Flashbacks, yeah.
Well, the fire silhouette in the back of your mind, giving it.
I know. Every time I hear a Molotov crash, I just hear a wee lad going, "Oh no, Wendy's! Oh no, Wendy's!" That's what used to happen during the rest. Is like you used to get people when they were going to set something off, they'd run. For anybody, I grew up in Ardoyne, so this was just sort of a daily occurrence for many years. But that's what they used to do was neighbouring houses. If something was going to explode, usually a gas bottle or something out there, they'd send kids to run up the street and knock on everyone's doors and say, "Open your windows," actually open your Wendy's. Because
Your West Indies.
if you open the windows when it explodes, the windows won't break.
Because
Because what happens is I don't want to get into the physics of it. You know, it's not. I'm not Sheldon Cooper here.
Maybe
no,
fucking Brian Cox.
what band was he in?
Brian Cox?
Aye,
He was in a band, wasn't
I can't remember. I'm going to hate myself.
he? He was in a band. Was he
That's
not
it,
like
Mick.
some weird
Do your research first. That's it.
fucking let's just say Take That. It wasn't Take That, but it was something weird. So did you see, what do you call your man? Jamie Oliver was in a band. He was a drummer.
Oh yeah, sure. He drills out of one side of his mouth, so it makes sense.
Have you found the answer?
By the way, see his restaurants are shit.
They're all closed down. It's because he's too busy.
He's never been a head chef.
He's
You know
trying.
that?
He's
Jimmy
trying-
Oliver's never been a head chef.
He's too busy trying to feed.
D-Ream. Things can only get better.
D-Ream. Seriously?
You can walk my path. You can wear my shoe. That one.
Yeah.
That's
the Labour song, the new Labour song from 1988. I think it is.
Like me, be an angel too. Maybe.
Anyway, that things can only get.
That's why we don't sing, because we can't harmonise. Because you haven't got a note in your head.
Yeah, I do have a note. It's a £5 note usually. £1 note.
There you go, Brian Cox and D-Ream. Today I have to make a public apology. I have to make a public apology to Declan McKeown for two things. One, the Cyclops Cyborg mix-up apparently, because apparently Cyborg was in the Justice League and Cyclops was in the X-Men.
He's also in Teen Titans Go, which Declan will be watching a lot of in the next couple of years.
And then also I mentioned last week that I was recommended a fantastic restaurant in Botanic called the Himalayan Restaurant.
Oh, that's
really
right,
cracking place. And he had to go at me for not saying who he was. So Declan, there you go, mate. I've talked about you for about 45 seconds solid there, and it didn't even have anything to do with my sore foot. So there you go.
I know, I was literally thinking foot.
Mixed foot bingo.
Hey, that new Helix of yours must have some sort of like, it's like you put your foot on the wah, but then it activates like a spa that bubbles around your foot. And
see that? I have that expression panel is so hard to activate. It is. You
have to really stamp on it. Like,
give
I wonder if there's a setting, like a sensitivity setting that you'd assume that it would be like, there is something you could do. Maybe instead of having to push it the whole way down, you like wobble it back and forth and it turns on.
There is that's the part of that Helix I've paid the least attention to.
Wow.
I'm just like, I'll get to you whenever I get to you, because that's a whole other world.
It's so strange.
I kind of don't really want to be using it too much. I'd rather use it for like pitch shift and things like that. But
really, it's like use it for what you were already doing, but like really dial it in and just have it.
I can't wait for you to hear that Daft Punk tone I found. I can't wait. You're gonna love it, because it's. Does it
do the pan or the mid sweep? The way in that
does a sweep, yeah.
Great, how it is.
It does a sweep, and it's I think it actually does it rhythmic. It however I'm playing, like if I just play a long note, nothing. But because I'm playing that aerodynamic, it activates it. Oh mate, it's epic. I haven't even like changed it. I've just left it be.
See, I wonder like if you could go like to your like with a lot of these digital things, they're gonna have they're way more detailed, especially the higher end boards. But if you were able to go and they were like, right, what's your lowest note you can play on your instrument, and you play it, and then you go, what's the highest note, and you play it, and it goes right. All the effects that we need to operate in are within these parameters, so then they adjust them all accordingly. Something like that would be pretty fucking sweet, because it means then everything would work. You know what I mean? Like the computer, it's a learning computer. It would it would do it all by itself.
Yeah, as I said, like it's so much about that board. I just I don't want to get too heavy into it, because I don't want to do all this shit and then me and you get together and get ready for going.
It doesn't work,
and then it doesn't work. I'd rather learn it within the realm of us, because it's usually
then
us.
You know how to apply it.
Yeah, because if I just go and I can learn stuff myself, but I'm not gigging by myself.
I still don't have to do anything.
I mean, the loop pedal. Once I figure that out,
that's you.
Teach myself how to beatbox and I'm good to go.
You get the fucking all you do is get one of those 6-string violins with frets, and you've got yourself a wee group on the go. Just have to learn how to play guitar properly.
I can't play guitar properly.
No, you can't. You're shite at guitar. I can play violin probably, but
I can play guitar better than you can play violin.
I know but that's not saying much. You know what I mean? I just know is I need to get my banjo and show you.
No, I used to be. See, like whenever I first learned guitar, I was good at it. I mean, it took me about. It was one of them weird things, like you've already got knowledge of one instrument, and you just apply it to the other. Like I got my flatmate back in uni who taught me how to play guitar. I basically got to like a level of someone who had been playing for like 2 years in the space of a month. But that was just applicable skills.
It's expected of you, like.
You know what I mean? But I never went beyond that level. That was just my limit. I can't like solo.
It's something I picked up really quickly. It's like, I think it's weird. Electric guitar. Like I was playing when we were doing that photo shoot with Michael, playing his electric guitar and holding the pick. And I can't hold the pick, and was holding the pick and was able to do wee leady bits, and I was going like electric guitars are just made for soloing or made for melodic play rather than acoustic. If you can solo fucking really well on acoustic guitar, you're really good. Do you know what I mean? Like you look at Tommy Emmanuel doing it, and he's able to fly around that fucking thing. It's nothing
That's
to
because the
him.
note just dies so quickly, so you have to be.
But it's not
I
even.
mean,
But it's not even that there. No, it's like the whole instrument's a lot more tense. It's a lot more. It's like trying to like if you can solo on a fucking mandolin really well because the strings are so taut. There's a lot of tension. They're so small.
I've tried to play it and I just can't do it.
Because I played the banjo for so long, I thought I was like, because the bouzouki and the mandolin are in terms of trad, they're all in the same tuning, same as violin, you know, D G A E or G D A E, sorry. And I was like, oh, sure, I can play one, I can play the other one, and it's not. There's a certain thing that you can do. Like it's just a knack for that. It's so small. You probably actually would be better at playing mandolin than you would play a guitar because it is so small. It's tiny, but it's even smaller than violin.
No, I used to have one.
It's fucking, I pawned mine. I pawned mine. No, it was like time to change the strings, and I was like, fuck that. I'm not having to go with that. I mean, it's like people that change and tune piano strings. I'm like, you are an adrenaline junkie. Do you know what I mean? You're fucking nuts. Tuning a piano, then fucking strings go and your fucking face is cut off.
I think in Northern Ireland there's only one or two actual piano tuners
that
in
can do it.
existence. I'm not really sure.
It's because they fucking couldn't get insurance.
I've changed a string on a harp before.
Aye.
And I was terrified doing that. That was
like I think it's the same with every instrument because there's like a pie chart that goes around. And it's like, you know, it's like just say it's like 90% one color and 10% the other color, and the wee 10% is it's going to be perfectly fine. I've done this 100,000 times, and then the rest of it is it's going to break and ping me in the eye.
Yeah,
and that's like every instrument. But even though the strings are specifically made to take those tensile strengths. It's fucking.
I know. It's like there's non-string players don't know how lucky they are. Like if you play a flute, the way they tune it's just you just turn it.
It looks way more fruity. Although I fucking do not envy drum players because they have to tune their drums.
Well,
they've got the wee keys, but they have to tune them all equally. Because they have to tune them like all around rather than going, oh, there's still one. This tightens the whole thing. They have to tighten it all over. You could do that in the banjo, in the tenor banjo, but I was like, I don't know what the fuck I was doing with it. Like. It's so strange because there's a couple of different tones of banjo that I like. Obviously, the G banjo is the famous one, you know, the bluegrassy sound. Yeah. But within like trad music and all, people are like, you know, they used to bust with the banjo, like play a tune on banjos. It's like it's not the same banjo, and there's only one of me. They go and play it, and it's like right, okay, cause it's basically a 12-bar blues.
Right, I'll play one part, you sing the other.
you tell me, you sing the words.
And then when you faint because you've run out of breath. Do
it like Peter Griffin.
It's mental.
Yeah, but you can do it because it's 12-bar blues. It sounds like in fucking C, I think it is. But I used to do it because the cool thing is on the tenor banjo, if you play it higher up the string and then down the string, you know, it sounded like two different banjos completely. Because one you were picking and the string you're picking down the bottom of the string, so it was really tense and pingy and sharp. And then when you moved up, it was like very MIDI and hollow, so you could actually do. You got that sort of the piss take. It was a piss take, like people loved it, but earned me so much money that.
Really?
Aye. Fucking couldn't play it. like I could not play it the way people expected it.
Do you know what's a tune we need to relearning is Tetris? We need to learn to play that again.
We need to relearn everything on our set.
Well, no, but I think that's the one that might be the most difficult because it was one of the first ones we ever learned to play, and we don't play anything like we used to play.
I was looking at some of the old stuff that I had written years and years ago, like see all that stuff that you're looking at or were looking at, like way before that, like stuff I'd written like fucking 10, 15 years ago, like riffs that are really good and really nice, and I was like, fuck, I wonder if I like slowed them down or, you know, did this and that we could do all this here sort of stuff. And I couldn't, even though I could hear exactly how to play it, my left hand knew how to do it, my right hand was like, nah, that's not the way we work anymore. Even though I knew this is the note I had to play, it was automatically going to a different string because of the patterns I've been so used to doing now. It's kind of fucking strange. But there is some nice stuff there, like classical stuff. I must send you through. It's all in classical guitar, so it's tasty.
I'm kind of scared to go back to playing I've been thinking about going back to learning the old stuff I used to do, and I'm like, I can't bring myself to do it.
There was that thing you were doing.
Because I think I'd end up hating myself.
There was that thing you were doing years ago. Remember I said it was it was a classical piece. I remember, and I used to think, oh, you did like a wee off the cuff thing with your loop station built into the
Oh, from the Four Seasons.
It was, and you did a wee bit, and then you added a wee bit, and you did more. And he's like, mate, that's fucking class. Like, build on that, keep doing that. And you're like, nah, you just never did it.
I think not. Well, I mean,
it was really good. I remember listening and going, fuck, that sounds pretty. Because it'd be good then, like when we were not that because I'm not really drinking anymore. We don't really need a piss break in the middle of our fucking set. So, So like even if we were angry, like here you do your bit, you're gonna sit right down, leaving Mick to do this fucking. I'll go and turn the smoke machine on.
Yeah. Might look into that.
That's the thing we should have bought with that Arts Council money. A lighting rig and a smoke machine, mate. We could have went into the John Hewitt and fucking made it look like
open the windows,
we're in Creamfields. Open the windows. They don't shatter. Fuck's sake.
Lush Classic was on the other night. We got a couple of tags there on Facebook. Go and get the ninjas on here. No, mate, not gonna happen. Showhawk, show your faces, lads.
What are they doing these days?
Nothing. I know they've announced.
I suppose nobody's really doing it.
Yeah, no, they've announced their tour. I think they're in Belfast. It's either late this year or early next year.
But let's get us in. Get us involved. That's it. So if you're listening, send a wee Showhawk show, a wee email, a wee Facebook message.
Not that they struggle to sell out the limelight.
No, but like, you know.
That'd be class.
Just to get us on.
Could you imagine that as a foursome? That would be outstanding.
It'll be the fucking foursome from Friends. Do we close your eyes or do we keep
what if I put my hand out and there's
something there? That'll be the way it is.
Would you know there's a Friends reunion being filmed?
I know. I'm not. It's like,
but they're not in character.
Oh, right.
Which I find. So I'm thinking. I feel like it's gonna, because David Schwimmer was on the Graham Norton show last week. The way he painted the picture was, it's a bit more of a retrospective. It's like us, like where we are now, and like you know. And I think I would enjoy that.
That's
more.
kind of like the end of series thing, you know, where they like Desperate Housewives. It's like Desperate Housewives.
Forget Desperate Housewives. Shout out to Paul Ritter, R.I.P.
Oh, that's right.
The dad from Friday Night Dinner.
Lovely bit of squirrel.
Mate. Shit on it. I stand. What a guy. Absolute legend.
But the thing is, what I liked about him in that show, you genuinely believed that he was that person. Do you know, like outside of the show, you would still be thinking he'd be cooling his feet in the toilet.
There's a lot of people think it's either him or Jim is everyone's favourite character.
Right.
But like, see, there's elements of him that like I see in my dad.
You know,
but it's like it's more of a caricature than anything else. But it's the erotic nature and the crazy thing. You go, but in their head, it's like it makes perfect sense that they're doing what they're doing,
because they're also used to it.
But the rest of us are looking at each other going, "What is up with him?"
It was like the horrible grandma, because nobody's like sort of deaf,
yeah,
and they're all slabbering about his ma, and then you think like, you know, he's like, what are you talking about? And then you think they're going to be like, oh, nothing.
But he hits it too.
He goes, horrible grandma. He goes, oh yeah, when's she going to die? I know that's what it was. He says, was it the man goes, when's she going to die? And then the dad goes, hopefully in the next 20 minutes. Before she gets here. And they all start laughing.
I swear, if anybody's listening to this, has no idea what we're talking about, stop the podcast and go watch Friday Night Dinner on All 4. It is tremendous.
Do I also like? I don't like the new seasons of it, but the old ones, Plebs.
When they started getting girlfriends, I was like, no, lads.
Do you ever watch Plebs? Do you ever see Plebs?
No.
The brother, not the one from the Inbetweeners, the other one.
Yeah.
He's in it.
Tom something. Yeah.
It's really funny. It actually is really, really good. You should watch it. It's funny as fuck.
There's another show your man, Paul Ritter's in. It's called No Offense. And sorry, this will be the third time his name gets mentioned. Declan. Recommended. I watched that.
I'm going to cut that out in the video. Every time you mention his name, I'm just going to bleep it out.
Declan. Recommended I watch No Offense, and I got me 20 minutes into the first episode, and it was good, but I was busy, and I was like, I kept getting distracted from it. I was like, I'll go back, and it was one of them ones. I started to watch it, and then, as usual, our inbox. I hear that the weddings might be getting them there. And I think, oh shit! So then you start replying to an email, and you end up replying to another one, and I lost focus on it. But it seemed quite good. But he's in that there, and apparently he's absolutely fantastic in it. So I will get back.
What
to
is
that.
it?
It's a cop. It's the guy who wrote Shameless wrote it.
Oh, okay.
From the second it starts, you're like, yeah,
you can see style.
Yeah, very similar style. And it's Channel 4, so you know there's going to be a wee bit of swearing, a wee bit of bit of riding. You know, it's not they're not really PC.
So speaking of PC, actually, I was thinking about this today, and it's a very overlooked comedy. Because like when you think about like the great comedy duos, you've got Ted and Dougal, you've got Rodney and fucking Dell, you've got Manny and Bernard from Black Books. Do you know like all these great like British
Richard and Eddie?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? All these, and then you've got like Rimmer and fucking Mister and all that. But one of the most overlooked ones is Linda and Tom. You know Linda and Tom? Gimme. I fucking thought that show was hilarious.
No, I disagree. I think that wasn't funny as much as it was. It was crude. It was crude.
Oh yeah, no, it was exceptionally crude.
But it's not. It was just like, how can we shock? How can we be? You can be. I love a bit of funny, dirt, like, but it's when you. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of them ones. It's just like
I'm shocked and appalled.
Basically, she's the ugly heterosexual woman with the skinny
superiority complex,
and she wants to buck him just because she wants to buck somebody.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a wee bit.
But it's like I know I love it. I think it's so funny because it's a mismatch.
No, I used to love it when I was a kid, but just looking back on it, I'm like, it's a bit
maybe you should know watched it as a kid. 9-year-old going, "Mommy, what's a bumhole?"
I remember watching Full Metal Jacket when I was a child.
When I was thinking about that film the other night,
and asking my dad what a prostitute was. And I think I was 8 or 9. And I hate to tell
why is that guy whopping his dick out in the middle of the street?
I know, but then people were going, "Why was your dad letting you watch Full Metal Jacket?" I'm like, well, progressive.
Well, no, you'd seen enough of them coming through the walls anyway, so.
Yeah, that's it. No, I think it was like, oh, you don't want to see petrol bombs, mate. There's napalm in this one. And that's how I got the Birds and the Bees talk and watching Full Metal Jacket.
Yes, I never got the Birds and the Bees talk. It's one of the things that I'm obviously, because like I said, the fun in it was like, right, when it comes to Darcy and all the woman problems, like I'll do whatever you need me to do, but the majority of that's going to be on you. Like I don't mean to be, it's not sexist or anything. No. It's that she's way
You're talking about something you don't understand.
Yeah, I'll never know the ins and outs of it. Like realistically, like I know the symptoms, but I don't know the remedies. If Alex said, I'm really going to talk myself into a quagmire in that one. But like with the sex one, I've had some practice. So I kind of know what way it works and what way it shouldn't work. But see, fucking the thought of having to do it, like he's 8 now, and he's still in the innocent. You know, when he says little rude words and all, and they're funny, in an innocent way. But it's like when he hits like 11 or 12, because I remember like I started developing when I was like 9, going on 10, and it's like and nobody told me anything. Do you know what I mean? So I never. So it's like, fuck, am I gonna have to start that early? And just like I'll do it because you fucking have to. You have to sit down and explain and do all these things, especially with the culture that's going on now. You know, it's real about education and no means no and all that. And I have to do that. But fuck me, I'm not looking forward to it. Like, do you know what I mean? I am not looking forward to that at all.
It's probably more embarrassing for the kid than it is for the adult, I'd say.
I don't know. I don't know. It depends.
Because you understand what you're saying. The child doesn't, but they have to act like because the child will sense the awkwardness of the conversation and go.
But the thing is, it's a real fucking like weird thing to say because like it wasn't you have to put a part of your body into somebody else's body. It's a strange concept for anybody.
I think it's the thing of whenever the kid then realizes that so much of what you've told them as they grew up was a lie. It's that bit that they have to deal with. They have to go. It's like whenever the kid finds that there's no Santa or there's no Tooth Fairy, or then they have the birds. There's so many things that they go. Then they start to question everything you ever told them.
Well, no, my kids question fucking everything anyway. It's why. Finn keeps asking me about measurements, but like in terms of, he's like, how many thousand ships would it take to fill up a fucking blah blah blah? And you're like, I don't know what that means. I have no idea. I have no idea how to quantify that, son. I'm just double checking something here because I seen the fucking screensaver coming on my laptop, so I don't want it to shit itself and lock up and then something happens. We're on a desktop and screensaver.
But anyway, that got very serious, didn't it? But I thought that was a.
We went from fucking lovely bit of squirrel to sex talks for youngsters.
So if any parents out there are wondering how to break this shit down for their child, contact Gavin.
Get in touch.
At Tank Hunter 666.
We'll form a support group. So we'll meet once every 2 months and have a latte.
It's nice being able to have an opinion on kids and raising them and all that shit. without someone going, you don't have kids, so you
But
know.
you don't, so fuck up. I know what you mean.
I used to hate that. That was one of the worst things about hospitality, was whenever like, parents wouldn't control their kids, and then you'd basically ask the parents, like, do you mind, can you keep them in their seat, they're running about, there's drinks and there's food, and da 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 da.
Safety issue of
and then
first
the
and
parent
foremost.
will go, I'll try. I'm like, you'll fucking try.
I know.
See, when I'm sorry, when I was I never once got hit by either of my parents. You get to give me that. I never once got a dig or a hiding. Never got any of that there. But when I was told to sit down, I sat down. I did. You'd sit and huff about it. You'd maybe give a bit of cheek.
It's a weird one for us because obviously with the autism and the ADHD, it's kind of it's a curve for us. But I think it's one of those. See, if you just be honest, to kids and just tell them this is why I want. Because I think it's like anybody. If I said to you, like, do something, you'd be like, why? And it's like, just fucking do it. You'd be like, why? Yeah. Why am I being made it? You know? Whereas if you're like fucking, like we would say, like the Finn would like, right, so they'd say, here son, you can't be running about in here because there's like that guy's got food and there's drinks and all that to her, and you know, and you don't want to trip somebody up and blah blah blah. He'll go, right, okay, that's fair enough. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you were just to say sit down and shut up, they're like,
oh no, entirely. But it's whenever like I would have not an argument. I would say, look, I say to the parent, and I. You know, there's a lot of risks, there's a lot of dangers here, and like when I'm walking along with a tray in my hand, I cannot see anything below the tray.
Funny,
and if I end up breaking your child's jaw with a knee, which can't, you know what I mean? I said it's not my fault.
Which will be made to look like an accident.
And they're like, and then they'd be like, oh, do you have any kids yourself? I'm like, no. Well then, what do you know? And I'm like, I don't need to have kids to know.
They shouldn't be running about a restaurant.
But it's like I seen was it on Instagram or something last night? Sean Haggerty and Diona Doherty, local comedians, just had their first child together, and congrats to them. And they named the child Winter, and Belfast Telegraph or something put a story up about them because they went down the IVF route. You know, which there's still a lot of stigma.
Didn't know the paramilitaries were into babies.
There's still a lot of stigma around IVF and stuff like that, especially like if you're a Catholic, you know.
Especially if you're a young person, I think there's a lot of stigma because it's always like IVF's always like an older lady sort of
I'm not going to speak on the matter because
I don't know anything about it.
But fair play to them. But I saw the name of the child Winter, and then this guy Colin something was like, whatever happened to normal names like Roisin? You're just queuing this child up to get bullied in the playground. And fair play to Sean Haggerty, he replied to him and went, well mate, no it is, if you raise your kids to be tolerant, my child won't have anything to worry about in the playground. And that is very true.
No, it is true.
Because if the parents are arsehole, that's why the child's are arsehole.
I was watching something about, it was Ralph Little and your other man, what do you call him from?
Will Miller.
Is it Will Miller?
They were 2 pints.
Yes, they've got a podcast. They've got a wee thing where they have 2 pints and talk shite.
I keep meaning to watch it. It looks class.
I seen a bit of it today, and they were talking actually specifically about Will bumping into Jeremy Clarkson when he was like 27, and he was like he had bought a car because it was on Top Gear and had got good reviews. So he went up. He was like, "Oh, I want to go up and say hello to Clarkson," because he knew what he was like. But he always saw it as banter and a laugh, and you know. So he went up to him and says, "Oh, hey, fucking blah blah blah," and bought the car, and Jeremy Clarkson blew him off. And like, Will Miller would probably hit you a dig. He looks like he would hit you a dig. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't be nasty to him, like. And he says he was he didn't know what to do. He felt like a kid. And your man Ralph was like, because you're raised to be nice to people, and so when somebody is like that towards you, it's a genuine shock that you don't know what to do with yourself. Where you're like, this isn't normal. Do you know when to behave like that there? And it just goes to show you, it's like Jeremy Clarkson's a fucking cunt. Above everything else, if you take anything from that story. Like.
But my God, Top Gear was a great show.
Well, that's what he says. He says he knew Jeremy Clarkson was a cunt, but he loved the banter between the three of them. Really worked, and that's what made it all.
But the thing is, as well, see, like that show, like the three of them guys are not in my life and never will be. So I'm like, what? Yeah, as I want to watch that show and I'll enjoy it. I mean, it just goes to show they've tried to redo that twice and they've failed both times.
It was Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, Matt LeBlanc, and
it's such a weird
some other guy, and then now Freddie Flintoff and Paddy McGuinness are in it, and it's like
Freddie Flintoff's fucking in everything, isn't he? Now?
I mean, Freddie Flintoff is.
He's more of a presenter now than he is now than anything else. Like because he was on that, was it soccer or not soccer? What do you call
League of Their Own?
League of Their Own. Right? He's doing all sorts of shit with that there.
But No, it's just hasn't worked. The reason Top Gear worked was the chemistry between those three. You know, and that's why they started doing the Grand Tour for Prime, because they were like Amazon's first big hire.
So they were.
And it's class. It is class, but because the budget was increased even further, and Amazon were like, "You can do whatever you want." So they did go and do whatever they wanted. But it kind of lost the magic because of the
setting.
It was they had a studio, but it just wasn't the same. It was like a nice studio, whereas that one originally was in an old hangar, and it was cold. Mickey Bartlett used to do warm up for it. He said Mickey Bartlett used to do warm up for Top Gear, and he used to do warm up for TFI Friday. He said TFI Friday, I think, was good crack, but Top Gear, he says, was hard work because they're literally all car enthusiasts.
So they're not there for fucking.
He's like, do you ever see, like, when you see somebody wearing a Ferrari jacket, they usually drive a Volkswagen Golf. There, you'd be going around doing crowd work, and there's somebody in a Ferrari jacket. You know, what car do you drive? And he's like, a Ferrari F450 or something out there, and it's like a £500,000 car or something.
He's like, oh, you've baby dick.
But it was in this cold hangar, and you'd have to go out, obviously, because whilst they're like resetting for the next bit, you'd have to go out and do 20 minutes of crowd work, and nobody would give a fuck.
Yeah, it's mad. Like, it's such a strange scent. It almost sounds like there was like every artist of all disciplines has like bad gigs. And I remember was it Annie McKay and Don Ross were saying they did one in a casino, but it wasn't like in a fucking entertainment room. It was literally when people were doing the slots, they're sitting playing all this mad instrumental guitar, and there's all these jackpots and fucking noises and all, and they were just like, this is like the worst gig we've ever done.
We've had a couple of shit ones. I think we've done some really bad ones. There's two that stand out. There was that one we did in Carrick, where the guy kept telling us to be quiet, and we weren't even being. We were literally brought in to be like, right, guys, here's actual entertainment. So we weren't even brought in as background. No, we were brought in to be, right, there's a performance that's going to happen here.
But he decided to sit right in front of the speaker and then complain about it.
Loud, and then I fucking was roasting him the whole way through, because I would just be, because the beauty of playing the violin as well, you know, that's the control I could have on the volume, and just occasionally throw in an accent, like that there. But and then by the time he turned around, I'm all angelic and lark ascending. But then, so the woman who hired us was like, I have to apologise for him, but his wife just died last week. I was like, well, what the fuck's he doing here then? He should be at home grieving. But then there was that. He's
seen it as like as a networking opportunity, you know.
But then there was that. I will never forget the day we did Stand Hall, and that fucking. I remember waking up the next morning smiling. I was going, fuck, that was class last night. That was one of the best, because I was just we had done festivals and stuff before, but like that was just everything just clicked together. It was just the right crowd at the right time of the day. And
I think the thing is, they're in the mood for it. I mean, that's why they're there. Really, it's not like oh fuck, there's music on when I'm trying at this beer festival to drink.
And then we went and gigged I was on the Friday, and then we were in Belfast gigging on the Saturday, and for 3 hours, not one person clapped, and I was like, we played exactly the same thing as Stand Hall, and I'm surprised we made it out of there alive, because people were clawing at us. And
all that free merch we were throwing out, people were going nuts.
Nobody even looked at us, and I was like, we get paid, which is grand, but you're going, I mean, that's not a good example of a shit gig, but that's an example of
an indifferent one,
where you're like, fuck, do you know, that's music festivals that's when we finished Stand Up, when we finished the Sunflower the year before, Sunflower Fest, me and you were like, right, this is it, that we, as music festivals, is where we have to be, because it is just.
Well, that was the trajectory for this year and last year, was to start moving in that way, because like it's any time we ever play anywhere, people are like, oh, you should do Electric Picnic, you should do. It's like, I agree, I completely agree, but see, I tried whenever I was doing the solo stuff, I tried researching all the festivals to try and find where you go, and it's a fucking minefield, because there are so many different times of the, like they're constant throughout the year, and trying to team up this one with that one, this and that. You know what I mean? It's kind of fucking, it's extremely difficult. But the only thing I want to do is work on our fucking live show, where we did more of our original stuff and work on that. Was the big thing, which was the first one and the only one. It was a success.
That was a huge success. But it's just one of those things. It
fizzled out straight away.
But then that's it happens. You become a victim of your own success, because then we just started getting booked all the time for weddings and for bar gigs and stuff. So it ends up, we were gigging 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week sometimes, and then it was like, you were like, I haven't seen my kids in 2 weeks. So then we wouldn't even get a practice, and then it was just snowball, and then nothing got done.
It does. It takes you out of your way. Funny, it was Colin Reid. Remember he said this? He says, "What do you want to do? Your original stuff or your covers?" And I was like, "Well, why can't you do both?" And he's like, "You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do both." And I was like, "You fucking you can do it. It's just depends. You just have to be more disciplined. And I need to say no to work rather than because I think it's the for any self-employed person. Like if you're a plumber and you get offered a job, you're gonna take it because you don't know when the next job offer is coming in. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those fucking strange things. I think that's why the weddings and all is kind of good because you can, if you were just doing weddings and stuff, they're always booked so far in advance and there's deposits paid and all that sort of shit. So you can go, right, well, I'll take a break at this time of the year and not for this length of time because I know when I come out of it there'll be work there. Whereas like I don't know, like nobody books getting their fucking toilet replumbed a year and a half in advance. Do you know what I mean?
Not at all. But that's why them lads can charge what they want because it's urgent service. But, yeah. Anyway, enough. We're always complaining. We always end up complaining.
I don't think I was complaining. It was just more observation. Observing.
Yeah. No, I can't wait to get back. I need our Michael was saying he needs to get in shape for his wedding suit. I was like, man, I need to get in shape for my wedding clothes that we wear to work. I was like, I can't turn up. I says I can turn up to the John Hewitt and the St. Pauli gig. That's no or St. Pauli hoodie. But I was like, I can't turn up to the fucking merchant for a cocktail reception wearing like general banter merch stuff like I normally do. I was like, I need to actually wear a shirt and
Frankie
nice
says relaxed shirt.
Yeah. That reminds me, actually, I need to get a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, I know we were looking because Fernando say we've one more step closer to getting the wedding sorted. So we got the forms are all filled in. We just need to drop them in.
We should no. It's my joked earlier about putting it on Zoom. We should put it up on Patreon. Mate.
Well, come and see our wedding.
You getting married?
Fuck. Tenner ahead. Sure, they all watched your woman pull a baby out of herself. The Kardashian woman. Remember she did it online? Was it her? There's Kim, and then there's
your woman on Big Brother pulled the champagne bottle out of hers.
No, that's something different. But nobody paid to see that. That was just part of the show.
TV license.
That was your woman, Jade Goody. Jade Goody. Fuck.
Was it? No, it wasn't her.
It was Jade Goody.
Kinga.
Kinga. Yeah. I know, but I think Jade Goody did something similar to that.
No. She just pulled racist slurs out of her fucking mouth.
No. She definitely. There was definitely some foul funny play along there somewhere. But, yeah.
Where are we on? 41 minutes. All right.
I'm looking here to see what the fuck were we talking about?
Are we going back to our regular slot now?
Oh yes, we should after last week's success. So we'll put a wee video together. Check it out. Insert the jingle here. Bollocks song lyrics. That's what it was. I'll see what way we can do that. So
huge success.
What we were looking at. So somebody sent through. We asked for bollocks song lyrics that make no fucking sense. The more popular the song, the better. We did take that last week.
Week before we did Dirty Dancing, Hungry Eyes.
Yeah, because it had weird shit in it.
Somebody did suggest we do Fairy Tale in New York, but as you can understand, probably not.
You have to bleep out that one.
I mean, if we didn't get cancelled for what I said last week, we definitely get cancelled if we did Fairy Tale in New York. So we're not going to do it. If you want to hear the lyrics, go listen to the song.
I fucking hate that song. I really do.
That is shit. Christy Moore. I like it when Christy Moore does it.
It's just like I'm totally over it. It's like, how did anybody know what Shane McGowan was singing? Because he was stripping over his fucking teeth in that song. You can't fucking hear him. Like, it's a good thing the band were so good. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because he's terrible. So yeah, I was looking here to see a couple of ones on All Night Long. Lionel Richie has a lovely line in it. Tom Billy DCD Moya. Yeah, Jambo. That was a good one of my favourites. Duran Duran, The Reflex. The Reflex is an only child. He's waiting in the park. That sounds like some sort of weird code, you know. Wham! Club Tropicana. Drinks are free. Fun and sunshine. There's enough for everyone. All that's missing is the sea. That's not weird. That's reasonably. It's
unless it's Michael Barrymore singing it.
Life's the beach. Okay. Pull your resources. I've seen this one here. Michael Jackson, Earth Song. What about elephants? Have we lost their trust? So well, the elephant never forgets. But yeah, Frula said. She said, what was it? Fucking steps. Steps. Let's have wee steps.
See, I
did you like our steps? Did you?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just found out as well that my the bag I bought from Helix delayed again. Gear for music. I'm gonna boot yous in the side of the
don't
head.
buy from them. It's never. I never buy from them. I bought a packet of fucking strings off them, and it was like £1 for postage. Cause
I might just cancel the order.
It's probably on its way.
No, they just emailed her and says it has not arrived with us yet.
It's probably that fucking Suez Canal bollocks, because they're all coming from Indonesia or something. Those things. So they're all probably on their way now.
Oh, I just want a bag to put my board in so it doesn't get dusty. Because I've binned all the boxes.
My boot scooting baby, it's driving me crazy. My obsession from a western, my dance floor date. My rodeo Romeo, a cowboy god from head to toe. When I make you mine, better get in line. 5, 6, 7, 8. Fruit kicking, finger clicking, leather slapping, hand clapping. There you go. It's good wholesome lyrics there. I don't think that's too bad.
I don't think that's bad at all.
Oh, do you know who's the king of absolute bollocks lyrics? Scooter.
Oh yeah.
A pure electric scooter.
You can't save a penny. Fuck 2020 or something. Is that what it is?
Oh, he's just. I don't give a penny.
Oh my god! I'm picking beard hair out of my mic head. That's just shocking.
That's fucking disgusting, mate.
I'm molting.
Here we go. Scooter lyrics. How much is the fish? Was it going up fucking eat off your face on a fucking Saturday morning to the old farmer's market? Doof, 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 how much is the fish? Yeah. Scooter lyrics. Let's have a look. Fucking kings of this shit. Right, let's pick a song. Move your ass, waiting for spring, endless summer, cosmos, hyper, raving in Mexico, beautiful vibes.
Raving in Mexico.
Raving in Mexico. Let's see. Let's see what we have here. Oh my god, there is 4 lines of lyrics,
standing,
and two of the lines are just a word each. So we're getting faster. This is real, hardcore. All right. Faster. That's it. That's the whole song. Excellent. So there's that.
Read out the lyrics to Antifa Hooligans by Los Vestidos.
I can't. They're in Spanish. They're not. Are they not?
No. But that's okay, you don't have to.
I know, I was going to say, because we would divide and conquer with that fucking this podcast.
I know.
But I send us in if there's anything, because we found it quite interesting. I suppose you would really need to go back to the 80s and 70s for the really fucked up lyrics. Like
Waterloo
by ABBA. Let's have a wee gander. What is it about, Waterloo? Is it just the place? Waterloo Station?
I was watching a really old documentary the other night. I saw it come on BBC, and it was the story of Bohemian Rhapsody. Now, I'm a House of Queen fan, and I think I know pretty much all there is to know about them in that regards. And they were talking about Bohemian Rhapsody, and most of the stuff I knew already, but they took you through the recording process, which was very interesting. I'd never seen that before. Then they got these literary scholars from fucking Oxford or Cambridge to break down the lyrics. And the shit they were coming out with, I was like, lads,
it's
do you know what the song's about? It's about Freddie. It's all about Freddie. It's about Freddie realising who he actually is. And then he goes Scaramouche and does a fandango. That's what it's,
That's him coming out,
That's him coming out. That's him. Basically.
It's fucking life story.
Well, that's what I've always believed anyway.
I didn't realise he was a mixed race. Freddie.
What do you mean mixed race?
I think his dad or something was like Indian or something.
Like yeah.
There was something like that there. I never realised that there. The big fucking
from Zanzibar.
Zanzibar, so it's not gonna cook it, but I'll order it from Zanzibar. There's a fucking song lyric thing we should definitely look at.
I know, look up Waterloo.
I did. It was shite. It was shite. Right. It's basically explaining the relationship in terms of fighting a battle at Waterloo. Like I'm Napoleon, I couldn't get away, I did surrender, you won the war, that sort of shit, like, isn't it? But we wrap it around in a fucking major key, and have to. Here's one thing for you. I was looking at this. It was like direct or indirect things. The Nazis were responsible for ABBA. All the blonde hair and blue eyes and all that shit.
True.
There was a thing I had. I should have watched it all. It's one of those ones you're on the bog and you're watching it, and you realise you have to wipe your eyes, and by the time you unlock your phone again, it's gone. But it was weird. Weird fucking, like, your man from My Chemical Romance inspired the woman who wrote Twilight. Then he started writing Twilight fan fiction, and then that inspired somebody else to write something else. So that it was fucking very strange the way it all works out. So,
but like, not even like stupid song lyrics. See, the lyrics that shape my heart. Some of my favourite ever song lyrics. just the poker game analogy, the whole song, just all these, and I love that.
It's so strange because I don't really focus on lyrics at all.
If you read the lyrics, Shape My Heart, it's fantastic.
Here's
really simple.
One for you. Everybody always thinks that Isn't She Lovely is all about, like, you know, when they fucking first hear it, they always think it's about some woman he loves. It's not about his daughter. Do you know what I mean? Because it's barely 2 minutes old and that sort of shit. But I was thinking as well, like, because if he was singing about a woman, how the fuck would he know what she looked like? It's more like, is she lovely? But do you ever hear that big fucking rumour that Stevie Wonder's not actually playing? You ever hear that? He's been playing for fucking decades now. Apparently so. Was it fucking Snoop Dogg or something was saying stuff like that? Dave Chappelle. But then you can't really take Dave Chappelle at his word because he's a comedian. He's meant to do jokes and make you laugh. But do
you know what, mate? Nothing will surprise me anymore.
The conspiracy. That's the conspiracy theory we really need an answer to.
I know.
You just go up to him and be like, no, like, don't say anything, just throw a dig at him and see if he grabs you. You fucking liar. He uses the force.
It's like, you know, in Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme, when he's training to go to the
that's right,
the Kumite. I was listening to the Bloodsport. I was listening to the Bloodsport playlist the other day and I got goosebumps. I was like, I just want to go and fight somebody.
Well, he didn't fight anybody. That whole thing was a lie. Frank Dukes is one of the big. Look it up. It's the biggest fucking lie. He never fought anybody.
But he had a professional fight. He had a professional.
Look it up. Fucking Joe Rogan did it. He did a thing on it because I honestly believed that he'd never been fought. He'd never been beaten, and he'd done this and he'd done that. It's all made up. Really? Swear to fuck. I was crushed.
You kind of crushed me too.
Yeah.
No,
it was all fucking made up.
No, Bruce Lee was never a competitive fighter. I know that.
But he was an actual fighter. But like he did fight people. It wasn't that he made shit up. Like, not like all that Wing Chun Falcon bollocks and all. No, like, that's all. That's all made up. Did like all that fucking and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, but all that stuff. Remember, like in the Jason Lee version of his life, like that thing where he goes to fight the warrior because he shouldn't be teaching the Chinese teachings to the Westerners. No. Apparently, that never happened.
It's just cinematic fucking drama, like.
But then it's the same thing. Like In the Name of the Father, Jerry Conlon and Paul Hill never met each other.
Oh, yeah.
They were just forced into confessing that each other was there.
Oh,
that's why they got arrested.
That's the
that was the whole internal.
What do you call that? The blind date game or something? Where you ask two people the same question and see what answer they give and give the same.
No. They were beaten and they fucking confessing.
Oh,
to something that they did not do.
I've never seen it in The Name of the Father.
And on that, whoa, right, hold on. If I'm gonna watch Spinal Tap, you're watching The Name of the Father.
Oh, but Spinal Tap's funny, and The Name of the Father sounds really heavy.
It's fantastic.
I've seen enough fucking fucking Cell Block H and all that. It's so heavy.
No, mate, I am telling you, In the Name of the Father, you have to watch. Pete Postlethwaite, what a performance.
Okay.
Daniel Day-Lewis, alright, like, but
was he in it?
Yeah, he plays Jerry Conlon.
Okay.
Pete Postlethwaite plays his dad Giuseppe, and then Emma Thompson plays their barrister.
That sounds like it's reasonably recent. If you're
early 90s.
Okay.
Terrific film.
It's one of
not factually correct, but then like the truth gets in the way of a good story.
That's how that's the always say. The last sort of fucking one of those type of like a serious film I watched that I actually enjoyed would have been The Departed. Fucking Leonardo DiCaprio and I thought that was very good.
The last true story film that I watched was Just Mercy. Jamie Foxx and Michael B. Jordan. Jamie Foxx on death row. Michael B. Jordan's like this new start in law, and basically is looking into old cases of like
gets him off, does he?
I don't want to spoil the ending for you, mate, but like I was gurning at the end of it. Like it's really emotionally intense. Like, that's a true story.
Like don't get me wrong. I always feel like watching those type of films are worthwhile, but I always feel like I'm like fuck's sake, it's another thing to think about now.
Well, have you heard what's out soon? Have you seen the trailer for it? Space Jam 2.
Space Jam 2, yeah.
LeBron James.
I've seen it. It's like a fucking an elevator or something. The child goes down or something like that.
I can't wait to see it.
think Space Jam's bollocks, right? The original.
Well, if you believe in it, you're a fucking idiot.
That's why I took up golf, for fuck's sake. No, I know as a kid, I watched it, loved it, and I watched it a couple. Like, it's not made for me, obviously.
No.
But just Michael Jordan's acting is so bad. It's like they're all those basketball players are fucking shite acting. Like it's not even convincing in any way. I'm not saying I do a better job, but I know I was shite enough not to take the job. But them is fucking so.
Offered all that money, mate, you'll do it.
Fuck yeah, they'll probably be swimming in fucking money anyway. Yeah, basketball players, like, so fucking, what does it matter?
Salaries they get are ridiculous, mate.
It's such a fucking mad game. I just don't have the patience for it. It's not, like when I've seen it, it's like the court is so fucking tiny in comparison to every other game. So it's like it goes from one end to the other. But there's like stupid shit, or like I would assume that when a guy goes to throw the ball in your net, you can block it in any way you want, but you can't.
You can't.
You can. So if it was in his hand, you could slap it out of his hand. Yeah. If it's in mid-air, you can block it out of the way.
Yeah.
But why is there always like when people are fucking going to do it and then they slap the ball and it's a foul?
No. So when the ball is in someone's hand, you can go along and just smack it out of their hand. You're not allowed to go and smack their. You're not allowed to like grab their arms and do that.
Oh yeah. Well,
whenever they go to shoot a shot, when the ball is released from their hand, you're allowed to jump in the air and smash it. Yeah. Only when it's on its upward trajectory. If it's on its way down, it's seen as goaltending because you can basically see where it's going, and you basically put like that. If you put your hand over the net, the stuff going in, that's called goaltending. But no, you are allowed to block it.
See, I always, anytime I've ever seen basketball, they're always in the fucking the final.
Doing free throws?
No, they're always in the like we circle about to do it, and then somebody fucking does something, and it's like right. Free throw, do penalty?
No, if free throws comes, physical contact's allowed. It's whenever if it's intentional. If you're going to get the player instead of get the ball, well, that's a foul. But if you're going for the ball and you end up like I say, you go for the ball and then you end up missing and hitting their arm, well, that's a foul. You should always be aiming for the ball. And if you do that,
is there an intentional thing versus an unintentional thing? Do you know what I mean? You get people like if. Is it
it's
like
called
a thing?
Flagrant.
I was going to say, is it like when somebody handballs a ball, but it's not like they put their hand out to handball it. It's like it hit them in the fucking thing, and there's like.
Well, no, in basketball you have an intent, like a normal foul is just a foul, but you have a flagrant foul, which would be like, say you were going off for a dunk, or say you were just jumping straight up in the air, and then I came under and sort of nudged you in the back. Because when you're in the air, you're out of control of your body. So when I hit you in the back, that's dangerous, and you could fall and smash your head or your ankle or whatever, break your foot. That's called that'll be a flagrant. But then the flagrants have different grades. There's a flagrant 1 to flagrant 2, and then if you get a flagrant 1, you get if you get 2 flagrants, you get ejected. But you can get sometimes you can just get ejected straight away. Usually comes from like if 2 players start digging each other, which does happen. There's I must show you. There's a thing that happened years ago called what's it called? Something at the Palace.
The guy ran up into the crowd and punched the guy. And fucking. I've seen videos. It's always on one of those Channel 5 fucking, when sports people go insane or something like that.
It's mental. It's worth watching. Like, but I've even to this day, like, there's a player who plays for the Celtics called Marcus Smart, and he's been with us for like 7-8 years. But when he was in like his last year of college, a guy in the crowd said something racist to him, and he went into the crowd and smarked him. Like, then he got ejected from the game, they got fined, all that there shit, but he still stands by it. He's like, he shouldn't have said it. But the guy was like, I never said anything. He's like, well then, did you think I just hurt? I just said it, just hit you for nothing. But anyway, on that note, we're approaching the hour mark, and your editing doesn't like doing any more than 59 minutes, 59 seconds.
I've been blaming the computer. It's really just me. I can't be annoyed with that long. Exactly. It takes so much fucking easier just putting it all together.
So that means I can go home and switch the Xbox, and we play some Warzone.
I don't know, maybe not. The whole reason we got to do this tonight is because I said to Vanilla, I'll come to bed early.
And break the bed again?
Break the bed. No, it's a brand new fucking bed. There's nothing getting done in that bed for another couple of months until we get our money's worth out of it.
That's fine. No worries.
But no, we'll see. You go home, play with yourself. Think about me breaking the bed. Fucking grabby.
Yes.
So what do we say? You
we'll wrap it up.
Check all the stuff out. Patreon.com/String Ninjas.
Give us a quid or give us more.
Facebook.com/String Ninjas.
LinkedIn. No, we're not on that. Bebo, MySpace, Teletext.
Grindr.
Soon to be back on Grindr. But lads, you don't need to go on Grindr because you can find us here.
So don't say my address.
Oh no, I meant digitally. You can
Digitally.
find us here.
Oh, they can find my address online. That's fine.
But you're registered to your man, so you know.
For tax purposes.
Yeah. Anyway, right, I'm going away. See you later.
Right. Later.
Love you a long time.